getting back up on my feet.
Welcome, everyone, to the South Salt Lake Women in Business Committee meeting. We are so excited today to hear from our guest speaker, Gabriela Benitez, from Gabby's Closet, where we're connecting from the inside out. And just some little background on Gabriela. She is passionate about connecting with people in a meaningful way by being herself, building trust, and bringing value to all relationships. With over 20 years of healthcare experience, Gabrielle has learned to pave her way and become successful in a male-dominated environment. Be confident and kill them with kindness is one of her mantras, as this has been no easy task. She has worked intelligently to create opportunities for herself. In essence, Gabriela has learned the power of connecting with others when she learned how to better connect with herself. Oftentimes, we have skills that we think are really mainstream, but that can be used in a profound way for an entirely different industry or innovation. Believing in yourself and creativity are key. Among her many local and national recognitions, a few stand out. Business Person of the Year for Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Latino Magazine as the Healthcare Guru, the National Blue Cross and Blue Shield Emerging Markets Award, and the Utah Governor's Office of Economic Development on Healthcare Reform Exchanges. In 2021, National Hispanic Magazine featured Gabriela's article, The Power of Hispanic Inclusion in the Workplace. Gabriela is the Director of Diversity and Inclusion and President-elect for the Salt Lake SHRM. She is an active participant of the South Salt Lake Chamber Women in Business and part of the founding board for the Women Who Succeed program, Entrepreneur of the Year, and Mountain West Capital Network Utah 100. At first, it was a daily internal struggle, but it got easier as things started aligning more, and I resisted less. Gabriela enjoys being a speaker, facilitator, and moderator for various local, national, and international events. Overall, her favorite role is being a mother and spending time with her family. Gabriela is known for her engagement, perseverance, and tenacious leadership, and we are so grateful that she is here today. So without further ado, take it away, Gabriela.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for that kind introduction. And then I apologize because my voice is not doing really well today. So hopefully it's still pretty clear. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, great. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, let's see. All right, I don't know why you can't go to the next slide, but oh, there you go. Okay, during today's discussion, I am going to talk about me. Everybody likes to talk about themselves, but hopefully it will be, there's a good reason for speaking about my background and how it ties to what I'm doing. And then I'm going to, before I talk about Gabby's Closet, I'm going to talk about leadership, because when I created Gabby's Closet, there is a very close tie to leadership. And then I'm going to talk about what is Gabby's Closet, the challenges and the opportunities that I see that connect well with what I'm doing with Gabby's Closet. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Excuse me. I have a cough today. So, all right. So just a little bit about me. I was raised in St. Anthony, Idaho, a very small town, by a single parent, my father, who is a farmer, and there wasn't a lot of diversity in Idaho. And just to give you an idea about my hometown, back in the day, there was about 1,200 people in this little hometown, and I think I was like the second or third Hispanic girl in my elementary school. So there wasn't a lot of diversity, and I struggled a lot to fit in. So at the age of 12, young and desperate to try to fit in with my friends, try to look like my friends and whatnot, my father and I went grocery shopping, and then I put in his cart a blonde hair dye Clairol box. you can only imagine what happened, right? So two things I've learned from that lesson is, one is that not everything on TV is true, because I used the hair dye box and it did not work in my dark hair. The second thing I learned was that sometimes we think that our external appearance guarantees us a path to fit in. What we fail to realize is that it's all within us. It's how we feel about being accepted. And no matter what our external appearance is, it doesn't guarantee anything else. So that was my hard learned experience. And then as a teenager, it was hard because I had a lot of self-confidence issues, trying to figure myself out. And then people would say to me, "Oh, you're just cute. You're a cute girl." Until, first I didn't even think I was cute until people start noticing that. And I'm like, "Oh, I am cute. Okay." But then what happened is, as I got to be a teenager, I feel like that's the time where you're starting to figure yourself out. And that's when you're developing a foundation for yourself that helps you in life. Well, instead for me, because people were saying, "Oh, well, all you need to do is look cute and you're going to be okay. That's the path to fit in. You don't need anything else." So it worked against me for sure, because then later on I realized that's not accurate. So I did not cultivate me and what I should have done in my teenage years. And I feel like what's happening with our society is that everything is about how you look, because people can't see the inside of you. So they're assuming that, hey, if you look cute and everything, you're okay, and life should be very, very good for you, right? But what I realize is that there is a lot of the real beauty really is in being a leader and being true to yourself and really believing in who you are. So I want to talk about leadership and what that means. I don't think there's a lot of people that feel comfortable calling themselves leader. And I don't know if you're one of those or not, but here are some funny jokes that I thought were pretty interesting about what is a leader. So if you look at these, say, "Hey, do as I say, not as I do," but you don't do anything exactly, right? We all have had leaders like that. And then the next one is, "Helen, you're the team leader. Why don't you jump first?" Nobody wants to do that either. Either lead, follow, or get out of the way, but never try to do all three at the same time. So anyway, these are just some funny jokes, because I feel like what I'm talking about kind of relates to the funny side of being a leader and also the true side of leadership. And truth is really what it means to you. I feel like a lot of times we assume that leadership should be a certain way, but it's different for everyone. So I want to know how many of you guys, if you guys can put it in the chat, like how many of you feel comfortable saying, "I'm a leader"? Okay, guys, put it in the chat. There's 2, 3. Okay. Yes, I love it. Okay, I am. Yes. Okay. That's awesome. Okay. That's good. Now, so what makes a great leader? Can you guys tell me what makes a great leader? You said you're a leader, so what does that mean to you? Okay. Only at home. What makes a great leader? Supporting others. I love that. Developing others. Oh, that is so inspiring. So true. Okay. So I've heard all kinds of responses about being a leader: accountability, vulnerability, active listening, collaboration, and inspire others, right? That's what a great leader is. And I feel like as a leader, when we think of leadership, it's, oh, we give it all and we just do whatever it takes to make it work. And as women, and I know there are maybe I think there's only one guy on the call, but as women, we feel like we have to give it all. And I just want to make sure we understand what that really means and what it does to us. So let me tell you a story. 14 years ago, I thought I was a great, the best leader. I was going to work early. I was doing everything it took to be recognized by my boss and everything. And then there was a point where I was promised an account management position. Okay. So I was looking forward to that. And then I was trying to get pregnant at the time, and then I get pregnant. So it was great. I was happy that I was pregnant, but on the other side, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel guilty. Oh my, what am I going to do? I am really trying to be an account manager, and I want my boss to see me as a leader, and now I'm pregnant and I'm not going to fulfill all these responsibilities that I should be fulfilling, right? So when I got pregnant, I had my baby, and when my baby was only 10 weeks old, I returned to work early. So again, I had been promised this job and I really wanted to go there, and I was afraid, and I didn't want my boss to think, oh, now that she's pregnant, her priorities have changed. So, they're not going to take me as serious. So even though I wasn't healed from my C-section, I, returned to work, and I was doing everything, going beyond, I was trying to pump in between like breaks and lunches, and I was just doing like everything I needed to do and beyond. Now, during these 10 weeks that I was with my baby, I took a 6-week course to get my producer license. And then I also represented the company nationally at different events. So during these 10 weeks, I was on maternity leave, but I was actually doing other things for the company and not getting paid to do it. But that's how much I wanted this position, right? So, and then when I returned to work, I was going to meetings and doing the representation for the company. During my own time, I didn't even get paid for a lot of the stuff. Again, I was thinking, hey, I'm being a leader. This is what I want for me. So yeah, I'm going to go full force. It took my lack of self-care, compassion, missing my kids, including being in meetings when my son broke his femur at the age of 1, and I couldn't be there for the first few hours, and that broke my heart. And then I realized how wrong it was that I was hiding my womanhood, and that was not being a leader in my eyes, was not fulfilling me. So I'm like, what is that? I don't like that, because it doesn't feel good. I'm missing out. I'm giving too much. And then I wasn't seeing the results. And then no results are worth yourself and the time that you take away from your family. So, so I hit a massive part of who I was. And then, to my surprise, after working so hard, I was rejected as an account manager. So I didn't even get the position. So you can only imagine that afterwards, I'm like, oh gosh, was this even worth it? And obviously there is, the experience that makes it worth it. But at the end of the day, I gave so much and received nothing in return as far as that position goes. So, okay, I'm going to go to the next slide if I can make it to the next slide. Let's see. I don't know what it is with my computer let's see. Oh, okay. So, and this is why, now that I am talking about Gabby's Closet, is because I want people to realize what leadership really is. And that leadership starts, from the inside. So what is Gabby's Closet? It's a nonprofit community video blog that is created to empower women to develop and trust their leadership skills. Okay. And through my personal journey, Gabby's Closet helps create a spark of authenticity with oneself. And just like when Jennifer was talking about my bio, I learned the very hard way, that if I am not connected to me, genuine me, that I can't really connect with people the way I want to. So enhancing women's self-confidence to pursue professional growth opportunities, and then break through the glass ceilings, whatever that next step might be. And I'm always saying, you're a receptionist, maybe you want to be an office manager, or if you're a cleaning lady, maybe you want to have your own cleaning business, right? Whatever that might look like, I feel like there is always something in anything that can inspire you, that can help you in that journey. It's helpful, and that's what Gabby's Closet's intending to do, is help everyone, because everything that we need to go to that next step is inside of us. Now, why I'm doing Gabby's Closet, I mentioned this a little bit, but also a sense of social responsibility to help each other. I know that there are ways where we can share our experiences, just like I'm doing right now. And this is a great platform with women in business, that we get to share our experiences, or talk about a specific subject that is of interest to others, or that could help others, right? So that's really what I'm trying to accomplish, is say, hey, let's see if maybe what I'm doing can help you, and we'll talk a little bit more about how I do it, but just to help each other grow and be more successful, and then also be in leadership roles. I also want to mention the meshing of American and Hispanic culture. And to me, that's important because I am Hispanic, and yes, but I also love the American culture. So I've always wanted to, hey, can we do more Spanglish? Like, can we talk about, can we understand each other's culture? And, it's just kind of fun to learn about each other's culture, and to learn about our similarities, and how sometimes we can be different, but it's a good thing when we're different, bring different perspectives to conversations and relationships. So there's a lot of room to grow closer. And then at the end of the day, regardless of our color, our religion, our accent, whatever it is, we're all women, and we're trying to help each other out. And it's a win-win, it's a win-win race, where we all want to win, and we want to help others win too. So, that's the reason why I believe Gabby's Closet will make people's lives better from the inside out. And how I do it, and I can't see myself, but I'm assuming you guys can see my background, right? Yes. I don't know why I can't see you guys, but here we go. Oh, I can see.
Yes, we see your beautiful mannequin back there with that cute little outfit.
So there is my mannequin over there, and I wanted to, the reason why she's here is because I wanted to show you Stella. That is her over there. You can kind of see her. She has no head, and no arms, but she's my mannequin. Now, how it all started. Now, this is, again, going back 14 years. This is when I started using Stella. She got an upgrade, and now she's a nicer Stella. The other one was more of a cloth Stella. I still have her, but she's kind of old. So this new Stella, the reason why I started dressing her up 14 years ago, when I was going through all these, trying to figure me out when I was with this company, trying to get that account management position, and trying to progress, and was having a lot of insecurities, a lot of misunderstandings and confusions as far as what leadership was and what I needed to do to get to that next level. So I was pregnant, and I was discouraged and everything. And that's when I started dressing up Stella. So 14 years ago, she helped me as I dressed her externally. What I did was, it was almost like a trick in my mind, where I'm going to dress her externally. So hopefully it's less invasive, one, and then two, it will help me internally to feel better with myself. So that's the reason why I started dressing Stella, and I would dress her up every Sunday and dress her up 5 times a week, and then take pictures. And then when I didn't know what to wear, I would just kind of flip through the pictures and be like, oh, I'll just put this outfit together. So anyway, that's kind of where it started. And then now that I think about it, why I'm doing Gabby's Closet is because, hey, Stella, the fashion, I feel like fashion is one of those things that we all love. Everybody has a different style, but it's fun, connecting connecting our external appearance with our inner beauty is just, it makes us feel more confident. Again, it's less invasive, so it's kind of fun to do, to use fashion for this. And I always say, because it's so much harder to work on you internally, it's just nice to say, hey, I'm just going to dress myself up and then I'll work on the other stuff as it's kind of like you're driving a car and you're fixing it as you're driving it. That's kind of how I felt. So, and then meshing the cultures again, big Latinas, we love big accessories, but then sometimes we just need a little bit of help with, hey, they don't have to be so big, depending on the meetings that you're going to. And then also just bringing in some of the American culture accents to Stella when I'm dressing her up. And then I do use Spanglish. I'm going to be using more Spanglish on my videos too, to help people connect with the message in English and Spanish. So it's kind of fun. And then I have a message of the day. The message of the day, it's kind of a quote. Now, this quote that I offer, that I talk about during my videos at the end of the video, it's a quote that I have that I put together based on all the books. So what I've done is I've listened to like hundreds of books and gone to different trainings with Dr. Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, Mr. Wonderful, and all kinds of other speakers. And when I've gone to all these events and listened to all these podcasts and books, I listen to things that they say, and I just put it in my own words, and I've been writing those down, and I have them on my phone. So I have like probably about 8-10 years worth of stuff. So that's the quote of the day. It's not stuff that, there are some great quotes out there, but this is stuff that's meaningful to me, because that's kind of what has helped me to get to that next step. So anyway, that is how I do Gabby's Closet. Do you guys have any questions before I move forward? Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and let's see if I can. Oh, there you go. So,
Gabby,
Mary had a question.
Oh, yeah.
In the chat.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So I started this in March 8th, International Women's Day. That's when I launched Gabby's Closet. And I've been thinking about this for the past 3 years, seriously, 3 years, where I wanted to do it. And because of COVID and everything, I'm like, okay, maybe it'll just be a video instead of doing it in person. And initially was just sharing some of my experiences and struggles and, something small like that. But then later it grew into, hey, let's just create a video, because I think Stella could really help other people, and I can dress up Stella. And I didn't want to dress myself up as much, because I already do that and I love dressing up, don't get me wrong, but I wanted the attention to be on Stella, on something that it's not like, you don't have to look like me to dress up, right? I don't know, I just feel like nowadays with all the influencers, people are thinking, oh, I have to look like that, or I don't have that body shape or whatever. And even though Stella is pretty skinny, but at least, I am able to have the highlights on her, and then the magic of putting it all together and everything. And with the message, it should, it resonates. And then I'm also dressing myself a little bit, but not too much. It's mainly on the mannequin, just because it makes it easier for me. So we started in March, and we do videos every other Tuesday, and it's under Gabby's Closet in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for now. Okay, any other questions? Okay, all right, so I'm going to talk about, let's move on to the challenges, the situations that I see that are happening. And there, again, that's part of why I created Gabby's Closet. And this is just the initial phase of Gabby's Closet. I feel like this is going to be, there's going to be a phase 2 and a phase 3. But the facts are that, this year, and I think it's been forever, that we have had a gender pay gap, right? For every dollar that a guy makes, we're making 82 cents. Okay, that's the first thing. So there is that. And then there is also that men are given 59% of projects. They lead 59% of the projects, and we lead the rest. So we're always giving less projects to lead. Okay. And then the other thing is the dysfunction in boardrooms. Do you guys have any idea on what that looks like? So in a company, if there are 10 board members, how many of those are females? Just take a guess.
2.
1 to 2.
1 to 2. How about 9 to 1? Okay, so 9 to 1. And to me, this is very alarming. Okay, that there are in a company, 9 people are male, and there's only 1 female in that board.
Okay, that's what I said. I just said it a different way, evidently.
That's true. That's true. Sorry. Yeah, that is right, Gary. So anyway, it's significant, right? And I don't want to, I don't want to say, oh, it's all about gender bias, lack of equality that is holding us back. That's why we're not in these leadership positions or whatever it is. That's not all true. I feel like there is a lot that we can do and that we can work on to get to that next, to get to leadership positions and go to that next level. Okay. So I'm not trying to blame these statistics for the lack of progress of leadership with females, but these are, they're statistics. It's reality, which means we just have to work a little bit harder, but we can get there, right? So I don't know why oh, there you go. All right, so this is what I've seen. I've seen, this is just from level 1 to 10. It seems like we always stay below level 8. So we need to create more opportunities for ourselves. And this is opportunities without having to step on anybody else. But more importantly, maybe if I don't have the ability or the desire to move on to that next level, then we need to help that other person that can or has more of a chance or that wants to, right? So what I'm trying to say is, we can help each other. We need to continue helping each other rise and get into all these leadership positions, whatever that might look like for you. For me, I'm pretty aggressive in what I want to be involved in, but some people are like, hey, you know what? I am not as aggressive. I'm okay. I'm pretty calm. But, if you can help someone else, another lady, that would be, that's awesome because we should be taking the spot that we need to take, regardless of what all these statistics are showing. Don't give up your spot, ladies. And I want to tell you a story where I had, it was a lack of leadership on my part, but I gave my spot away and I regret it so much now, but yet I learned so much from that experience. So 10 years ago, I'd been working on this prospective client for a couple of years. A year into me working with this prospective client, I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to bring Trent, who was one of my coworkers, into this deal with me, and we'll split it 50-50. Okay. Now, 2 things to know. Now that I look back, the reason why I brought Trent, and now looking back, being honest with myself, one was because I had lack of self-confidence. Oh my gosh, I am female and I'm trying to do this and that and blah, blah. And the second thing, which is wrong, one. And then the second reason why I brought him on was because he could help me with the work. And he had more experience with self-funding at the time, which is what we were doing with this company. Okay. So I brought him on, and as it turns out, I was the one doing most of the work. So for, almost 2 years, whatever it was, I was doing most of the work. And one day, one day we were getting ready to close the deal. We had a presentation ready. I'd been working on this presentation, benchmarking reports, data reports, everything for weeks. And then one day Trent calls me and he says, and I was driving on I-80. I remember exactly what I was doing. So anyway, he calls me and he says, hey, Gabby, are you ready for the presentation tomorrow? And I said, oh, yes, I'm so ready for that presentation. I have this, I have that, and I know exactly what I'm going to be presenting. And I'm going to send you an email with what you're going to be touching on and what I'm going to be touching on. So it's going to be a perfect presentation, right? So we had a 10-minute conversation and then he just kept talking about same thing over and over, which was, I felt like he needed to tell me something and I wasn't sure what it was. So finally I said, Trent, is there something you need to say? And then he said, well, yeah, well, I just don't know how to say this. And I said, what is it? So then he said, Gabby, you know, I was talking to Jim and he said that all of the board and the shareholders that will be present during our finalist presentation are male, and that they would feel more comfortable if I was the one doing the presentation by myself. And then he said, they think you will be a distraction for them. Okay. So in that moment, you can only imagine what happened. My heart just sunk and I'm like, what? And then I was in tears, driving in tears, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what, you didn't have my back? You didn't tell them that obviously I've been working on this. This is my lead. This is an opportunity I brought you on, and you didn't have the courtesy to say, hey, that's not how it is. And, you know, because I mean, he's the one that had the conversation with the company that said I would be a distraction. So I took that a little personal. I took it personal. It was hard for me not to take it personal. And yes, I gave my spot. I said, okay, Trent, I will email you all the information I have. I will print the presentation. I will do this and that, and you will be presenting it by yourself. So my message is, do not ever give your spot. I was young and I didn't realize what it did to me. But now the way I look at it is a learning experience that people will try to perhaps move you or move you away or bypass you or whatever it is. But it is important that when we work so hard for something that we stay, you know, we kill them with kindness. Yes, I'm going to be there. That's what should have happened. I should have been at that presentation. But, you know, I didn't realize that, that this was going to be hurting me long term until I realized what happened. And now honestly, I will not give up my spot. So show up for yourself. Don't ever give up your spot. Okay, so let's talk about what what you guys can do. And this is stuff that has helped me into taking my spot, into actually just as I move forward with my professional career and even in my personal life. The first thing is acceptance, and acceptance for my background, acceptance for who I was, acceptance for who I am now. And then Tony Robbins says it best, where he talks about how your past does not define your future. So it's just accepting who you are and, you know, be yourself. The next one is be brave and trust. And I love this about Brené Brown, because she talks about choosing courage over comfort. And that's very important, because we need to be courageous, and you will feel so much better. especially if you're thinking of something new and afraid, you have all these mixed feelings, just be courageous, just go for it, right? And then always be present within, and what I mean by that is in the now, be aware, because I feel like a lot of times we are going so fast that we are not necessarily taking everything through, like understanding what is really happening. And then we're less anxious when we're present in the now. So presence is the key to freedom. So you can only be free now. And that's what, that's a quote from Eckhart Tolle. And then the last one is persuasion and showing up. Succeed and grow rich through persuasion. And that is a quote from Napoleon Hill, one of my favorite authors. So just always show up for yourself. Always show up. I have do we have comments here? Oh, oh, Jennifer. I know, yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next slide. Right. Okay. And I just wanted, I wanted to give you guys some information about my recognitions, but the reason why I want to bring these up, although Jennifer already talked about them, is because all this stuff that I have accomplished, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish it if I wouldn't have gone through all the experiences and learned from each one of those. And now I know that every experience was meant to happen because I needed to learn something, even that horrible experience with Trent and that company, right? I know, like, I can laugh about it now, but back then, obviously it was really hard for me. But there is a lot of work that we have to do to get to that in that journey. And it's almost like it's a journey. It's not on that lane. It's like driving right in that lane, because it's a journey. You're going to keep going and going and going. And the biggest opportunity we have is to, and I don't want to say to overcome us, to overcome you, but to understand and to value you, right? At least that's how I look at it. Oh, I guess we have some comments here. Let's see. Oh, thank you guys. All right, let's put this away. Do you guys have any questions before I move forward? Okay, no more questions. Okay, and what I've noticed is that something I want to share is that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, because we're not. Sometimes we feel like leadership people, that it's something that we have to do more and more. Recently, I met with an HR professional who has a bachelor's, and she said, I'm looking for an HR job and I have a bachelor's in business and this and that. Do you think I should get a doctorate before I apply for a director of HR? And I thought, why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we feel like we are inadequate? Like, guys don't do that. Like, men in general, they sometimes exaggerate things, or they, whatever they do, they have a lot more of the way they hold themselves sometimes is more confident than we do. And I don't understand why we do that to ourselves. So all I'm saying is that our deepest fear is that we are so powerful beyond measure that we're even afraid to acknowledge that. But I really, really believe it. And every one of you guys in this call, because I know all of you guys, I know that that you guys won't give up your spot now, because you are true leaders, and you know that you owe that to yourself, right? So I'm going to talk about holistic beauty to close this. So I'm going to, I just want to say that we cannot split off the person from the leader. The leader and the person are one. So you guys are amazing. And let's grow beauty from the inside out. Thank you so much, guys.
With broken wings, but now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet.